Okay, Draymond Green, there's a story in The Athletic today about the Warriors and, how, they're going to become awfully expensive. They're already awfully expensive. They're about to become awfully expensive. You're going to trade or you're going to pay Andrew Wiggins. You're going to pay Jordan Poole. Of course, you got Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Draymond being a high salary guy. Draymond Green, Rob, after next season, when he's going to make $25.8 million, he has another year on his deal, but it's a player option at $27.5 million. Draymond wants a max level extension. Draymond wants a 4-year, $138 million extension. And look, I will say Draymond Green is a first ballot. Well, he's a Hall of Famer. Probably will be first ballot, but he's a Hall of Famer. Draymond Green is one of the best defenders of this era. And all time, I'll give him some love. Draymond Green has been an integral part of the Warriors dynasty. Obviously, he's played well. He's a unique player. I love his skills. I loved him back at Michigan State, Rob. He's a nice playmaker. He's got court vision. Obviously, the defender. Great passer. Very good passer, I should say. Unselfish game. And brings that life and that energy and that spunk that these Warriors need. And, Rob, heck, you got to give him credit, I guess, for even helping get Kevin Durant there, right? He was the linchpin to getting Durant there. And so he's been a huge part of this dynasty for the Warriors. So I don't want to discount what he's done. But there is no way on God's green earth I would give Draymond Green a max level extension at this stage of his career. I'm sorry. Now, I'm looking at it like, look, let's not even talk about it. Let's see what you do next year. I don't have to say that to Draymond if I'm the Warriors, but that's what I'm thinking. You struggled mightily for the bulk of the finals. He came on, had a couple, nice moments late in the finals, but for the most part, you struggled. All right. So let's not talk about an extension of this magnitude. Just go out and ball next year. Let's see what you do next season. And even then, Rob, even if he plays great, I'm sorry. I'm really not thinking extension, not max level for Draymond.
Chris, can you ask me if I think Draymond Green deserves a max level extension?
Rob Parker, does Draymond Green deserve a max level extension?
Yes, way. Yes, how? But not from the Golden State Warriors. Let Colin Cowherd give it to him on the podcast network, on the volume. That's where he's an MVP. Colin, dig deep into your pocket, because Draymond, it ain't coming from the basketball world. I'm sorry. A max extension? Are you kidding?
You had me there, man.
You really thought I was good. You were like, what? What are you talking about?
Right.
Draymond, your days on the basketball court getting a max deal, forget about it. Great. Now, if you want to go ahead and get into your podcast and think you're a podcast MVP, pony up and pick up the phone and talk to your boss, Colin Cowherd. Colin, is this on? Colin, he's your star on the volume. He's making waves. He made more waves during the final in front of a microphone than he did on the court. Draymond is a podcaster.
That's a fact. That's not just a funny line. That's a fact.
He's a podcaster, Chris, a better podcaster than he is a all-star max contract level player. I'm not saying he can't play anymore, but not at that level. The Warriors aren't drunk from the confetti of the parade. They're like, oh yeah, just give anybody money. Draymond, what do you want? We'll back up the Brinks truck. They must have been like, and real talk, they covered the microphone at the offices at the Warriors, Chris. They covered him up, and they laughed in hysteria. Are you kidding me? Draymond's asking for a max contract? Man, he must be drunk talking into that microphone because you are not worth it. Once again, Golden State, laugh all you want at the comment, but Draymond, if you're serious about it and that's what you want, go on your podcast. It's called The Volume. Pick up the phone and call Colin and tell Colin you want a max talent podcast level contract, and that's what you deserve, and that's what you should get.
I hear you. Because he did. That, like I said, that was not just a funny line, Rob. Draymond did make more waves with his podcast than he did with his game.
No doubt in the finals,
Chris. No
Chris.
buts about it. Yeah, in the finals. Now, again, like you said, we're not saying he can't play anymore. He was bad at points in the finals, but I still got, I have respect still for what he can do on the court. But there's no way. Now, there is a caveat. Well, let me throw this out first. Supposedly, Draymond's willing to look elsewhere. Come on. Who else is offering him the max? He's not getting a max anywhere. All right, yeah, a team might take him, might offer him a free agent deal, but it won't be for the max. That's for darn sure.
If he's looking elsewhere, is he looking at the Bleacher Report? Is that where the elsewhere is?
It could be because of the more media. Right, media outlets.
He might be able to do that.
Caveat,
or it might
Rob.
be TNT because Chuck might take the $60 million and bounce. That might be it.
Yeah,
but
no, that could
right?
be it. Right. Here's the caveat. In this story by The Athletic where Draymond, they talks about this, or the sources say he wants a max level. Multiple sources also said Steph Curry would not be happy if the Warriors lost Green because the team didn't want to pay him. Now, Steph is under contract for 4 more years, but he wants Draymond and Klay to be with him. Now,
I don't even care what Steph says. If I'm ownership, there's no way I'm going to do that. It would be irresponsible, Chris, financially to give Draymond a max contract extension. I'm sorry. Steph, I understand you want to hold it together, but there are parameters in this, and we just can't open up and pay everybody.
Yeah, and there are a few factors here too, Rob. Number one, I don't think Steph will ever leave Golden State, right? I mean, that is his team. That's his franchise. They're still good. I get it. At the end of his career, maybe they won't be any good, but I just don't see him leaving unless it's a horrible situation there in Golden State. And as much as he loves Draymond, and that's real, like obviously those guys have been through the wars, and they certainly have a lot of love for each other. And I get it. It wasn't the same just because of the length. But, Rob, you know this. Steph loved Mark Jackson. Steph was high on Mark Jackson. They shared the same Christian faith. Mark was a huge believer in Steph when a lot of people didn't believe in him and Klay. And what happened when Mark left? He just kept it moving. He missed him and all that, but he kept it moving, gave Steve Kerr a chance, and the rest is history. So I don't think, I think he'd be bothered if Draymond's not there. I think he'd miss him, but I don't think he would, make a stink over it or anything like that. Like it would ruin his relationship with the Warriors.
No, and I look at Steph as like a Jeter and Aaron Rodgers. Remember, Chris, I talked about that. I didn't believe he was leaving Green Bay. Remember, I kept saying it was either he's going to retire or he's going to re-sign there. And Jeter played with the Yankees for 20 years. Steph will play his entire career, I think, Chris, hell or high water. Because he's won enough that even if there was 2 bad years at the end, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like that's natural. He's already done the body of his work. So we want to hear from you out there, no doubt.
Draymond Green, should the Warriors give him a max extension? Better yet, should they even think about it? I don't even think it should even be in the back of their mind, let alone the front. Your turn to weigh in.
All right, Jerome in Charleston, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Hey, Draymond Green deserves a max extension, just like I deserve to have a girlfriend that looks like Lionel Richie's present girlfriend, okay? It ain't going to happen for me, and it sure hell shouldn't happen for him. Hey, he's on the other side of 30. Ain't no way I'm giving him a max extension. Maybe 2 years, and let's negotiate. But a max extension, he's lost his mind.
Yep, he has. There's no doubt about that.
That's where you're so blind by it, Chris. Like, you just see everybody else getting paid. You're like, well, we just wanted another championship.
Right.
Everybody, and you just be like, oh, yeah, where's mine? I should get the same thing everybody else is getting. It's just,
and look, I guess I don't blame him for trying, but no. I'm sorry. No. And he would be wise not to ruin the team because of it either.
Because of it, right.
Yeah.
And go look for somebody else to max you out. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then come back to us. That's what I would tell them.
Yeah.
And
then come test the market and see.
And when Team Israel offers you a deal, we'll let you know. Tim in Atlanta, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Tim?
Yo, what's up, fellas? What up, Nuke?
What up, Chill? Yo.
Yo. What's going on?
We good, man. What you think about this Draymond stuff?
Man, Draymond is so overrated to start with, right?
Really?
Because,
see, I wouldn't say that.
Here's why I say it. Here's why I say, Chris, because he lucked up going to Golden State. He got a system that fit him. If he went to another team, say if he was on, Sacramento or some other team, he would not be this future Hall of Famer that everybody thinks he is. He got into a great situation at a great time. So, dude, you earned some money. You fell into a great situation. Be happy. It may earn you some, a career after basketball. But, this max contract, forget it, man. You've already gotten the best that you should get.
Well, I do agree with that. I don't think he's overrated. I agree, Rob. We've talked about it before. It's just, if he was somewhere else, he wouldn't be that guy.
If he was with the bad Detroit Pistons the last 10 years or whatever it was, Chris, people wouldn't look at him like that. There would be no winning, and they would be like, yeah, of course he's grabbing rebounds.
Be scoring much.
There's nobody else to grab him. You know what I mean? Like they would be like that. But sometimes, and it's not his fault, and he's not the first player. Sometimes, Chris, being in the right situation works.
Absolutely.
And it makes a difference on your career. Let's squeeze one more in. Tony in D.C., you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Tony?
What's up, fellas? What's
what
good?
Up?
Rob, thanks for the T-shirt, my man. A lot of my partners out here, they like it. So he sent me an all-star shirt from MLB Bro. Dope shirt.
Very nice.
But, no. And Draymond's really about to get his feelings hurt here in a year or two when he finds out his value. You got to focus on keeping Wiggins and Poole. Wiggins was the best defender they had in the finals. I think he had a game with like 18 rebounds or something like that.
He did, yeah.
So Wiggins, it's coming to an end for Draymond. I won't be surprised the Warriors are like, hey, seek a trade partner to find out your value. And one more thing, Chris, if Draymond gets in the Hall of Fame, then Michael Cooper and Bill Laimbeer have to be put in the Hall of Fame too. Because they were great defenders also. And I think Michael Cooper won a Defensive Player of the Year. And they could also stick a shot here and there.
I think there's a case for Laimbeer. I mean, again, he wasn't an all-time great, but I think there's a case. But, yeah, if it hasn't happened already, it probably won't. But, I loved Cooper, Rob, Showtime, Lakers, all that, but no. I mean, are you entertaining that?
No.
He never made an all-star team. Like, how you gonna be?
Like, you just can't put everybody wasn't great who played on these great teams.
Right.
You know, the only way Laimbeer will get in is if the Veterans Committee of the baseball writers they put anybody in. Maybe Laimbeer will get in the baseball.
Right. There you go with that. It's easy to get in the baseball Hall of Fame.
Stop saying that. I know I'm setting you up.
It's a joke.
I'm setting you up, and now every time you're like, it's so easy to get into the baseball Hall of Fame.
It's T-ball up in here. All right.
Wow.
And Rob, there's some quotes. Obviously Jaylen Brown's name is all up in the trade rumors for Kevin Durant, and we're gonna get a little more into that later. But there have been some anonymous quotes in a story in Bleacher Report about Jaylen Brown and from Eastern Conference, one from an Eastern Conference scout, one from a coach. Here's one from a coach. They're talking about, whether or not this is going to affect Jaylen, and is he going to be upset? Could it force him to leave Boston, in free agency in a couple years? Will it hurt his game? one anonymous coach says, when you give your blood, your sweat, tears, as I know he has to that team, and you don't feel you're getting that same love back, it'll definitely make you look different or look twice at your front office and how they do things. You want the other one, Eastern Conference scout. He gives Jalen props. Jalen won't let this affect his play, but he won't forget this either. The kind of season he had, the team had. I know this is a business. He knows it's a business. But hearing your name in trade rumors, even if it's Kevin Durant in the deal, can't feel good considering how he played against KD and how the Celtics did against the Nets. Great quotes.
Yeah, almost too good to be true. And I'm not saying it's not, Chris. But sometimes I read some of these quotes and I go, I know they're anonymous and, you don't know where they're coming from. And you notice, Chris, some of the best stuff you can get is anonymous because a lot of people – Am I right?
Later in my writing career, Rob, it was essentially to the point where I didn't even talk to guys on the record.
No, because that
it was just all right. Because you weren't going to
people need to understand this when they talk about that in journalism. So I'm not against anonymous quotes because I do understand it.
But now it used to be a lot more strict, Rob. You know
right.
that.
Well,
you couldn't just use them willy-nilly like today.
No, you would have to. If you worked at the New York Times, they want to know where you're getting stuff from.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same safeguards. Now, I'm not in these new rules. It doesn't seem like that.
You see them all over the place. It used to be certainly at the New York Times where I worked, it was rare.
Right.
And I think it was more rare in all these places.
Even when I was at the Daily News in New York, and that's a tabloid, Chris, they weren't willy-nilly. It was like, where'd this come from? Like seriously. And then they would determine whether or not to use it and how important it is to the story. And I think I remember writing a column about Lou Piniella, and like 3 players didn't want their names attached to it. I thought it was an important enough column, Chris, about them not having fun. This is after they had won the World Series, right? And I talked to my editors, and we went with it. But we didn't name the players who had, stuff to say, but I still thought it was important. I just wonder sometimes when I hear somebody, that first quote is like just too perfect and eye-popping for me. That's the one that sounded just like, okay.
Look, I'm certainly not going to accuse this writer, of making up quotes. I will say this, Rob. I have known of a couple of guys who made up like trade rumors. I don't know that they did it consistently, but I know a few times they told me I'm gonna throw this out there. Is that true? Like, yeah, but I'm gonna throw it out there. And so there were guys that did that. I don't know if anybody. I've never had anybody tell me they're making up quotes. No. But there have obviously been, scandals.
We know big time, journalists who have been drummed out of the business, Chris, for making up stuff. So it does happen. I don't know. For a scout to say that, he's devastated and this is going to scar him or whatever, it's sports. Like, people get traded. If he really came into my office and I was the GM, I would just have a list on my blackboard, Chris, of all the great players who were traded or moved on, starting with Joe Montana, who they got rid of, right? Won 4 Super Bowls with that franchise. Yeah. I mean, we could stop right there. Can we stop there? Or I tell them Babe Ruth got sold. He was a great player with the Red Sox. Did you know that? He was sold to the Yankees.
Right.
Period. And Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player ever, was traded away. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and Jalen's name's been in trade rumors, throughout his career. Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Ben Simmons, now Durant.
Not new.
I think he'll be fine. But it's interesting, Rob. I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't accuse anybody of making up quotes, but it is those do really read well. They read well.
Chris, you know what I'm saying?
They
in this
fit
business,
your narrative. Yep.
They fit perfectly, and sometimes when quotes, because a lot of times people say stuff and you got to try to figure and take a piece out of it to make it fit, Chris. It's not normally that cut and dry where, oh, man, that's perfect. That's a perfect quote that fits right there. Usually that ain't real. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I hear you. All right.